How you doing, everybody? Randy Richard in the shop. So, previous video I had mentioned I had to do a little generator repair, and along with that log splitter we got done. So, I've got the generator repaired. So we're gonna go to that and show you the generator repair. It was a few minor. It was a few minor items. Actually, vacuum lines, dirt in the fuel lines, the valve, the carburetor, kind of things like that. It wasn't too bad, really. So this will be a short video, but we got it running. We got all the functions working, the idle down function and things like that. So it's a good little deal. We'll see how it goes. Thanks.
Okay, I'm just pointing out the items I worked on. The vacuum lines up underneath there and there, rotten. There's the gas valve from the tank, and we're going to take the little bowl off the bottom right there, a little dirt catch. So we shut the fuel off. We'll take that bowl off and clean out it. It's just a little dirt catch, and there was a lot of dirt in there. So that means it's farther down the line also. It doesn't catch everything. We'll put it back on. We'll drain a little fuel here first and then put it back on. Now we'll get the air cleaner off, air intake filter, foam filter. There's a little vacuum line I had replaced. And I cut the ends off of a couple other vacuum lines and put them back on again. They're kind of cracked and falling off almost. And it has a backing plate to hold it on there firm. We'll take the fuel line off here, a little spring clamp, and drain it a little bit. Make sure fuel is going through the fuel line. I want to make sure I got good flow everywhere. Yep, that's good. Just kind of working my way down the line here. Now we'll put the fuel line back on and open the drain on the bowl of the carburetor. Nice little feature. Most of your Yamahas have that little drain on the bowl. It's kind of nice. I'm putting a nut on there. Those are through studs that hold the carburetor on so it doesn't fall off. Work on getting the bowl off. I hope there's not a need to take the whole thing apart, the whole thing off. I suspect it's just dirt and those vacuum lines, I bet. We probably have dirt inside the carburetor. That's what needs to be really cleaned. So we'll get the bowl off, get that main jet out, and yep, there's dirt down inside there. Blow it all out. This has a shutdown solenoid on the side, and we'll just spin the bowl off.
So here's the bowl to the carburetor. Now, the little gasket was right on top, and it fits up in like an O-ring groove inside. Now this is a square ring, but O-ring will work. And it's very fragile, and obviously it's broken. And so what we're going to do, I don't have an O-ring that size, right? So this here measures about 50 thousandths. This here measures about 65, 67, 68 thousandths. And I have, this is from an old O-ring, or not an old one, but it was a new O-ring, but it was a big one. And I've used it before already once to chop out a part and make an O-ring. And this one is a couple thousandths bigger than this. So it will be fine for this sort of service. What we're going to do is we're going to cut these ends nice and square. And we're going to super glue them together so we can
put a new gasket, set that up in the groove, the gasket up in the groove in the carburetor, and then we'll just push it up there. It's just a compression seal, so it should work fine. And the other thing I did is the O-ring on here, which actually was a square ring, was very fragile and in bad shape too, so I took it off, found an O-ring that's the appropriate size, and put an O-ring on there, which will work just fine. And put a little O-ring lube on it. That's Dow Corning 55. So we'll put that back, put new gaskets back in here. Now, one thing I found was this was down in here. This was full of crap, garbage, and I think it was plugging this up. Because the way it's running is it runs for real good for a little bit, and then it's acting like it's running out of gas. And this solenoid is like a solenoid into this main jet here. So it's probably plugged up and it's just acting really strange. So getting there, that's why I was getting everything cleaned, draining everything, making sure everything's clean. Clean that little strainer or little catch on that valve, and there's dirt everywhere. There's obviously been water in here. I cleaned this up from the water corrosion. So we're gonna see if we can get this fixed here. So what I'm gonna do is, this is a nice brand new blade, and we're gonna cut this square. Now you can make a jig. You can buy jigs that do this, but just get it lined up and cut straight down and cut it off. What I'll do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to calculate the length, the circumference of this, and then measure out a piece, and then we'll glue it together. Okay, so we'll measure the diameter of this. This comes out to be 1.950. And calculating that for the circumference, so it's pi d. So it comes out to be 6.126 inches, so 6 1/8 inches. So we'll measure a piece here. My scale right here. Now be careful, don't stretch it. Just just roll it out. There we go, 6 1/8. Now we're just gonna glue that together. Now, make sure the end's clean. A contact cleaner. This is just isopropyl alcohol. Just something to make sure you're clean on the ends. What we're going to do is we're going to use the edge of the scale to push them together so that it's nice and square, and don't twist it. Just one little drop on there, doesn't take much. And I'm just putting it against the scale, and I'm going to just push those and hold those together. And then get that extra glue, just kind of smear it off of there. Anyway, there you go. And that should last long enough that get it up in there and get a good compression on it. It should be fine. We'll put some lube on it also. Simple way to make an O-ring if you really need one. Okay, we'll go install it.
Okay, we're gonna reinstall the bowl. There's the O-ring we made. We'll lube it up with Dow Corning 55 O-ring lube. And we'll press that O-ring up in the groove in the carburetor. This fits right up in that little groove up in there. O-ring came out just right. It worked out good. Now, if you made your O-ring and it was a little long, you can always cut it again and re-glue it. Just cut the at the joint that you made the first time. If it's a little short, you never can't cut it the second time, still be short. But anyway, put the jet back up in there. That holds the bowl on also. Tighten it up. Make sure the solenoid's tight. And we'll test the flow here. Make sure there's no leaks on the bowl. We'll open that drain, make sure the bowl's filled up. There we go. There's full of fuel. Snug that solenoid. That's good. Air cleaner back on. We'll do it a little fast here. Sometimes you wish you could work that fast. Hotter heck out that day. Sprinklers going in the background.
The twilight zone.